Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out smackdowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space, now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Little mashup action.
All right. Somebody actually made that. Was that on YouTube?
I found it on YouTube.
That's awesome.
I put in Alexa Bliss, The Fiend matchup, and there were a few different options. Some of them were really bad, and some of them were okay. And but this one I felt flowed the best from one into the other.
I get what you mean.
And I'm assuming soon enough we're going to have a change of the music when they come out together. You know, I'm sure that's coming. But welcome everyone to the War Report podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The War Report podcast brought to you by TagMeADate.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for fans of professional wrestling. Of course, undergoing a complete redesign, and will relaunch when we feel like we are being responsible in launching a dating site in the middle of a goddamn pandemic. So keep with us. We're here to talk all things pro wrestling. You know, usually WWE crops up quite a bit because that's the biggest game in town. And of course, they've had their draft. Is the draft completely done?
It is done.
Okay. It is done.
All 7 rounds.
And they don't. I'm all right. I guess we just jump into the draft because it happened both Friday on Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. And it's on the bottom of the screen if you're following along on the video. So I guess I should have been paying attention, huh? We're going to talk about the WWE Draft for 2020. And spoiler alert, it stunk. It just didn't make any sense. People came out like it just didn't make any sense. All right, go ahead.
I've been waiting. So I've been watching kind of a day behind. So I didn't watch Raw until today. And obviously I saw SmackDown over the weekend. What I've been waiting a while for this.
He's ready. He's like
Fired up and ready.
Oh man, what's that gif of that guy rubbing his hands together? The Birdman.
I'm trying to woosah this out.
Woosah!
And I'm very disappointed, and I'll tell you why.
Go for it.
Unlike Eric, for example, who unfortunately couldn't join us tonight and despised everything draft.
Hated it.
and kind of really hates everything WWE, which, I mean, listen, it is what it is. I try very hard to stay optimistic and really root for the WWE because, you know, the talent's there and there's just things that just whatever. The draft is always something that I look forward to every year, unlike others who don't think there should be a draft because the brand should be put together. I really like the idea of a brand split if it truly is a split. You know, if the SmackDown guys stay on SmackDown, the Raw guys stay on Raw, and they don't ever show up on opposing brands unless it's like Survivor Series buildup or, you know, something to that effect. Right. So, you know, that's where Eric hates the brand split, and that I agree with. Obviously, they're keeping the brand split because we had another draft. And again, I always look forward to the draft. I always enjoy the draft. This particular draft made absolutely no fucking sense. And one of the things that really bothered me is, so you draft teams now and you draft factions, but only some, and then others you don't you split. So in other words, like, the New Day, now you got Kofi and Xavier staying together, and they're your tag team champions of Raw now. But then Big E goes to SmackDown. But then you have all of Retribution gets moved together. You split up Otis and you split up Tucker.
It's very inconsistent, yeah.
But you kept Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode together. So I just don't understand the logic behind that.
Yes, I agree.
And so that's one of the many things I really didn't enjoy. But go ahead.
Why don't you tell us something that you did enjoy about the draft?
Chairman's been teaching kindergarten this week, so finding the positive.
There is none. They're really truly.
Oh, wow! I mean, this is monumental. This is the first time that Steve has not been able to find something positive about a WWE product. This is
wait, the entire draft, the entire episode last night, you couldn't find a positive?
No, don't.
Okay, that's all I wanted to double check. Okay.
What I said was, there is nothing about the draft that I enjoyed. The draft itself. I mean, it's cool to see some of the guys go to the other show. That's always cool because you're going to see newer matches.
Took whole stories. They took whole storylines
and just moved them to the other show.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's like you move Seth Rollins, but then you moved Rey Mysterio. So we're still going to see this fucking train wreck of a disaster.
Yeah, but what's the difference? It's the same shit as before. There's no difference. You're just changing the fucking color of the t-shirt you wear. So why does it matter?
It's supposed to matter. Like, here's the problem. Yeah. It did. In 2002, when they first did it, it was because Flair was on the consortium. Woo! So there was an actual reason for the split. There were two different owners that shared equity in the company and disagreed on what to do with it, so they decided to split.
Yeah, but that you're talking about 18 years ago. This is over. This is just a way to get promo for people to kind of stay watching.
But they found ways where, like, it would be like Bischoff on one brand against Heyman on the other brand. You know what I mean? Or Stephanie on the other brand, and or Stephanie and Shane each got a brand. They tried to make it make sense. You're right, but Chairman, you're absolutely right. This year makes no goddamn sense because, first of all, where's the value in drafting one superstar when you could take two? Or what's the value in taking two of the three New Day? That's like taking Jordan and Pippen and leaving out Kukoc or leaving out Rodman. It's like, what are you doing?
Are you telling me that you couldn't give Big E his singles push,
right,
and keep them together?
That's
exactly what I was going to say.
I think it's better that they did it this way. I like them separating it. We've been seeing these guys together forever.
6 years.
It worked for it worked for Kofi, but are we just going to see the same recycled shit with Big E? Nah, let the guy branch off. This also gives them a chance to kind of see what they do without him. You know what I mean? They're always getting hurt.
They could do that.
I think it's going to be good.
I'm actually not necessarily disagreeing with Chairman on that one. And that I could see it. One thing I will say when it comes to the New Day splitting, at least they did it where the New Day split, but not because somebody turned. Yeah. So they can always get back together. Right. So in that respect, I kind of do enjoy the way they did it. It's not like with the Shield where Seth Rollins hit Roman, with the chair from behind, and then that started the whole thing. So so in that respect, you're right. That I agree with Chairman on.
What about this? So we all hate the draft. It was all bullshit. It makes no sense, right? Why don't we change it up and talk about who was not drafted?
Well, there were only two people, right? It was Mickey James didn't get drafted, and
but they've placed them now. I think everybody that didn't get
drafted. Apparently the two people that I forget who the other one was. Andrade, right? So those two are going to go to Raw. Charlotte, wait, where did Charlotte go? She went back to Raw. Right. So Andrade's definitely going to Raw. So they're
on SmackDown, right?
So right. So those two are, but Alistair's on SmackDown. So those two are gonna go to Raw. The reason I'm hearing that Mickey James didn't get drafted is that she's out with a broken nose and just had surgery. So she's going to be out for a little while. So that's why they didn't
We
go
also
into.
got quite a few not in the draft pool. So you got Becky Lynch, Jimmy Uso, Ivar, Sonya Deville, Edge,
All the
Jinder
people that are out
Mahal,
right now.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe, Mojo, the Forgotten Sons, Bo Dallas, Big Show, Cena, Goldberg. That's kind of funny.
Well, right, but that makes sense though because it's all the people that are inactive. It's you got the guys like John Cena who may come back once a year, Goldberg, whoever knows, and then Becky Lynch. Obviously, we don't know when she's planning to come back because she. Well, I don't know how far along she is, but she's probably having the baby soon.
Sons too.
She's due in December.
September.
Did you forget about the Forgotten Sons?
I literally forgot about it. And then I forgot about Mojo until you reminded me that he exists.
Yeah, there's some garbage.
So I mean, not all of the free agents are.
So the ones that didn't get drafted yet, it makes sense to me. Although the Andrade thing didn't make sense to me.
I can't wait for my Raw rundown. But what the fuck are they doing with this character, man? They just killed him.
Which one?
Andrade. That guy's the truth.
For whatever reason, Vince McMahon is not a fan of him, and nobody really can understand why. His English has gotten better. He's great in the ring. He's a flair.
I think if you're talented, you just can't go over. That's just it with Vince. You have to be fucking garbage.
They kept him officially to Raw, right? They didn't move him at all.
He has no spot. He's did a job, whatever they need him to job.
He's technically a free agent.
Well, yes, but they have Andrade, and now they're going to have Charlotte on the same show again.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Maybe
yeah, of course.
The job squad.
They keep the couples together. That's one thing it seems to be Vince is doing now, which, that's cool. I mean, they should keep. Well, he was totally against anyone dating in the company. And then what is he going to say once Stephanie and Triple H? I mean,
His daughter kind of screwed that one up.
Well, yeah. I mean, at that point, where are you going?
Yeah. But the split, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
go ahead.
A lot of people split up. And a lot of people stayed together that were confusing, like you said, Ziggler and Roode. I just feel like somebody watched that one draft where APA split up or 3D split up, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do that," but then they did it 12 times, and it's it would have been more effective. Imagine this: it would have been more effective if just the New Day got separated, and everybody else stayed together. What the fuck? I guess people are fans of Heavy Machinery, and I don't fault you for being fans of, but I mean, does that really tip the scale for meaningful?
But is tag team wrestling for the men's division have any importance anymore?
It does mean something, but it's.
I don't know.
I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking it could possibly lead to new tag teams. Maybe they're just gonna try and just do the generic put guys together and see if it sticks. I mean, listen, we talk about this all the time. Some of the greatest tag teams ever were done that way. So I mean, whoever fucking thought Sheamus and Cesaro would work, they were a great team. Things like that. So there's a chance maybe for that, or they're just gonna say, "Fuck it, we don't give a shit."
But didn't Heyman kind of put that together and kind of did the old school, like Benoit and Booker T, let them have the best of match series, and then you know what I mean? I think that's what made Cesaro and what's his face work well. You know what I mean? And Sheamus.
Well, yeah, they had that great best of 7, but I think it ended in a draw, and then Mick Foley, instead of doing a blow-off match, put them together, which people hated, and I hated it at the time, because I feel like if there's a feud, you got to have a fucking blow-off. You can't just go, "Oh, it's a draw, you're a tag team now." That was just it was just
shit ending, but it ended up being good for that
it ended
later
up
on.
being good in the long run. No, but I still think they could have, I guess, to make them equals, they did the draw, but then don't do the series. The whole it all boils down to they make these choices for people. Who can or can't win at whatever time, but then they still have matches with each other. When Braun faces Keith Lee, and neither of them can stand to lose right now.
You're still dulling on that one, Vince.
I'm just using it as an example because it's gone back as far
That's
as
true.
the dawn of time with what they're doing. It doesn't make sense why.
But what about the shitty writing now? So you're gonna have Keith Lee and Braun Strowman on Friday, and then Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Backwards. So Friday's Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. And then on Monday you have Keith Lee and Braun Strowman. So obviously that means he's not winning the fucking belt. So there's no point of even having the fucking match. Who the fuck wrote this?
Oh, so can I just can I tell you something stupid too? Elias makes his surprise re-debut, hits Jeff Hardy with the guitar because apparently he didn't watch SmackDown after he got injured to figure out that it wasn't Jeff Hardy with the car.
Yeah, they're acting like we don't know who was driving the car. I thought we put that shit to bed a long time ago.
Right, but so Elias comes back and texts Jeff Hardy for basically no reason, but or a dumb reason, and then magically gets drafted as the next draft pick. Like, what the fuck? At least put him further down the chain, or go like
Vince, you're ruining the promo, man. You're ruining the promo.
Hey, listen.
Thank you for mentioning the car accident because I completely forgot why he did it last night. So thank you.
We forgot about Elias altogether. Who the fuck is he? Is he still alive?
Exactly.
Which is a shame too, because I do like Elias. I think he's great. So hopefully he does something special now that he's back. But before we give the floor to the chairman so he can do his 30 seconds of Raw, and then we can kind of dive into Raw, there's one thing I want to mention before we get into it. And I can't believe this is about to scroll on the bottom of our screen.
Oh no.
But I have confirmation.
Are you kidding me?
I have confirmation that she signed a contract at the end of September, and there were thoughts that she was going to make her return during the draft, but that pretty much means it's happening ASAP. Now, I don't know, nor does the source know, if this will be in a wrestling capacity or just an on-air talent. For the love of fucking God and everything that's holy, hopefully it is an on-air talent and not a wrestler. But ladies and gentlemen, All Red Everything is returning.
Awful.
I'm done.
All awful everything.
Just when you think it couldn't get worse,
Yeah,
they
Go
brought
back
us
to the
back.
beach.
They brought us back
Hold on.
Eva fucking
There's
Marie.
like 13 million people unemployed, and I'm sorry, if you're Eva Marie with the way you wrestle, you should stay fucking unemployed with the other.
Vince,
Those
Vince.
other 13 million people could all put together a better match than Eva Marie. Fuck
Vince.
that.
Vince.
Take your $600 a week, bitch. All right, I'm
They
sorry.
should sign Rubby Sky.
It's 400. Get it right.
Listen to me. You have the hottest fucking free agent women wrestler on the market in Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah.
And we're talking right now about Eva fucking Marie returning. I don't understand. You give her whatever amount of money she wants and you get her. I don't give a shit if you put her in NXT first. She won't be there long.
Yeah, but there's the whole reputation thing or the racism.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
you know
there's
what?
I think they're trying to not do this now, and I think Tessa will get signed. I just think they're waiting for like politically things to slow down a little bit, and then they'll move her in because they don't like. Somebody found, or a bunch of people have found tweets and Instagram messages from Lars Sullivan sexually harassing women in their Instagram DMs.
Speaking of which,
making fun of Hurricane Katrina survivors, and just being a general douchebag online. So like, and like literally the guy would buy. So, you know, if you follow like a yoga instructor on Instagram, and they go, oh, buy my video or whatever. And the guy bought like the yoga training video, and he like sent her a creepy message. He's like, I really enjoy the yoga video. I'm learning a lot. Hey, do you happen to have any yoga videos where you're not wearing any panties? Like shit like that, like just being a creep. And now people are taking screenshots and they're like, hey, this is fucking Lars Sullivan, buddy. So
this is that guy from TV.
yeah, I mean, well, barely. He's pretty lucky that he's not nearly as famous. I mean, now he's been on TV a handful of times, so maybe people know him, but like, it's not a good look if that story or those stories continue to blow up or different messages continue to be found, because basically he's a big D-bag. And like, I don't know what someone's conduct outside of work should, how much effect that should have on their employment with the company. I don't know. But,
well, when you're in the public eye and you're part of a publicly owned company,
and if you're sexually harassing people and saying creepy shit like that on Instagram, I know So
meanwhile, that looks like they're pushing the hell out of him. I mean, he had a big shocking return.
So they took him off the draft graphic, which people thought meant they were going to write him out of the show, but they didn't. they left him in. So I don't know. I don't.
He is a big fucking dude. I
Well,
mean,
that's the thing. But he's not particularly tall. He's just he's wide. He's like a refrigerator.
yeah, oh yeah, the guy's ridiculous. But I mean, you know,
And I
it's
say
another
he's
one.
6'3".
Just so you know, really quick, I just told Autumn that Eva Marie signed a contract. She just slammed a door and she's crying. And it's not happy tears. She is very pissed off right now.
Somebody's gonna call children
See?
and family. Oh no! You're gonna get a visit.
That's
You're gonna get a
hilarious.
knock. Oh my god!
Autumn, are you happy right now? No! Oh, jeez.
Oh, Ryan clipped that.
I think we could get an angry Miz go out of it.
This needs to be its own YouTube clip separately. Are you happy?
I just had a towel thrown at me.
What?
She
it on
is
TikTok.
pissed.
She's done. She literally threw in the towel. Ring the
She
bell.
threw in the towel.
Holy shit. Oh,
She
because-
cannot
wow.
stand her. She
But
calls
this
her the
is true.
wannabe Becky Lynch.
But this is funny.
Listen, she's not bad to look at.
Wrestler. All she's good at is doing fails.
All right. Wow. This is something. Yeah, so Eva Marie, not exactly Lou Thez out there. But I don't know. Listen, I never,
That should be her new gimmick, Luthez Marie.
that would be great if she just came out and just.
Oh God, no.
Get him, Steve, get him.
That gives me the same reactions when I hear Brie mode.
The screaming is getting louder now. Thank you very much.
I got you.
Oh man,
She's gonna hate me now.
So this is interesting to me because Eva Marie, I mean, she's probably supposed to appeal to like 13 to 15-year-old boys, maybe. But like, you would think the WWE divas or women's wrestlers would be have a better reception from a young woman who's watching wrestling. But no, I mean that's pretty telling that a kid who, you know, you would think wouldn't be that discerning about their wrestling. They just like watching wrestling.
No, she said this from day one, from watching like Total Divas and everything from me watching. She goes, the girl can't take a bump.
Take a bump. She's 10, right?
Yeah.
She's 12. She's 12 now, yeah, but she's been saying it for years. She goes, the girl can't take a bump.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
One of the first things she ever said was because she watched it and she said, she goes, JoJo at least knows how to move. She said she's stiff.
Oh my
That's
god.
and then she was 10.
No. So I guess
Well raised. Good parenting.
you definitely trained her well to sniff out somebody like Eva Marie.
She said she's not even worthy of TikTok.
Wow.
Oh no. Oh geez.
That's big coming from a 12-year-old.
That's a big time insult. So I have a question for you, Kat, since the subject has been brought up, and she's almost that age. When she's either 16 or 18, are you signing her up for like pro wrestling classes, or what do you?
She can do it if she wants to. I have no problem with that whatsoever. If that's what she wants to do, she can do it.
Create a pro wrestler is what's his name? Not Zack Ryder, the other one.
Kurt Hawkins. He's out in Deer Park out by me. We've been there before. She's seen it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that could be a nice little setup.
She did that, and then when she was, I'm trying to remember, I can't remember how old she was. When I took her to a Mick Foley signing, she spent like 20 minutes talking to Amish Roadkill, and he gave her her card and told her when she's old enough to look him up.
I love Roadkill.
Yep.
So that's great. No, I'm glad that you know she'll pursue that. I feel like she would be good at it because she is.
Listen, I would say this hardly. Any of my kids can pursue whatever they want to be, as long as they're happy and they're doing what they want and everything like that. I'm not one of those. Listen, you got to go by the books and do everything like that. I got nothing to say on that. As long as you're contributing to society in some way, you know. And then I take my 10% as her manager. I'm good.
I was just gonna say, like, you gotta take a little pise on the side.
I can finally be like, I can finally be Miss Elizabeth or be better than Lana. I'm good.
I mean, yeah, you could. Oh man, we won't even. That was the main event of Raw.
Oh my God, I know. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said her name. Sorry.
All right. So, all right. So let's, Chairman, the floor is yours.
Shit. So thank you guys for setting up my promo over here. You took a couple of shots, but it's all right. So we'll go right at the top. Raw. We had an Orton promo. Drew shows up. We got the schoolyard brawl. It goes down. No DQ match. Owens over Aleister Black. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. We got Miz TV, Team Muscle Friends, argue over Otis or some shit. Some excuse to be on TV.
Or some shit.
We got Lana and Natalya show up, and the mid-card brawl starts. Lars Sullivan returns from his sabbatical and some shit about Twitter. It's a squash fest on Miz and Morrison. Then we got a first ever tag team title swap from the new version of the New Day, the Street Profits, and the old version of the New Day, the New Day. Then we got Rude and Ziggler, their tag team again for some fucking reason. Stephanie McMahon shows up at a podium. She's doing her best fucking Vince McMahon voice impression. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Then we got Rollins promo on the Mysterios for the last 17 weeks in a row. And then a triple threat. AJ goes over Jeff and Seth, and those names rhyme, so I guess that's why they did it. Then we got Elias. He shows up. I guess he's still fucking alive. The Muscle Friends, they go over the boat. Lana goes solo. Actually, no. She goes through a table again for 5 weeks in a row because she's married to Rusev. And then the best part of Raw happens. The Fiend and Mrs. Fiend hit Sister Abigail's in stereo. That was fucking awesome. Then we got the New Day over Rude and Ziggler. Decent match, but I don't know what the fuck's going on there. And then Ricochet goes over Alexander with the ode to Eddie Guerrero. The second best part of the night. And then we got the main event, Women's Battle Royal. Lana goes over and cries with perfect makeup. That was fantastic. and oh, hey, the schoolyard fight is back. Orton and Drew McIntyre have been fighting for 3 hours in the playground. And they decided to wait until Lana won to come back out and say, hey, we're still here today. So and that's a multi-million-dollar global fucking company show for 3 fucking hours.
I am bowing down to you.
Well done.
Nice, sir. Well done. Oh my.
So, shall we talk Monday Night Raw?
I mean, do we have to? I think he covered it.
Well, I do want to.
What could possibly have been missed in that?
No, there was nothing missed. I just want to go back and I say it week after fucking week, and I just the saving grace for WWE right now is Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss.
Yep.
That segment was the best segment of the entire show. I love that they're together, and I love this whole Harley Quinn type of deal with Alexa. Everything just works. I fucking love it. I will also say the opening match, Kevin Owens and Aleister Black in the no DQ match, was probably the match of the night. If you actually gave it a watch, it was great. I enjoyed every part of that match. It's just amazing to me how Aleister now is a heel and hasn't won a match since. Which, you know,
it's because he can't fucking see. He's got no eyes.
Damn it.
He's fucking Thor in the Thor movie. That's what he is. He's gone.
It's a shame he can't see no evil.
That was fucking terrible.
That was pretty bad.
The music is gone. The thing is like all the shit about that was Aleister Black, like creepy cult guy who like has Satan tattoos. Like they just it's not there anymore. I don't know what else to say.
He's there.
Right,
That's it.
Right.
And then with the Fiends, like we said, right? That was probably the best. It's only a matter of time until they fuck that up. I like that it's in snippets. I like that it's not, a whole match. I want to keep it like
why
this.
they haven't fucked it up yet.
As soon as they put them there, it's gonna be over. Like you can't fucking have a mixed tag match. It's gonna be fucking terrible.
Yeah, because
Well, but how could it? I don't know if it would. I don't think that I don't think it should happen a lot, but every now and then, I wouldn't. It's not like they both can't go. I
But
think
we got the potential of the mixed tag match, including someone like Eva Marie now.
no, that's not happening.
the mixed.
Oh, but that
match
actually I might enjoy. Never mind, I take that back. I would enjoy to see her get her ass kicked by Alexa.
Fiend
I
and
think to
Alexa-
keep it.
Fiend
Gavin.
and Alexa versus Eva Marie and Lars Sullivan in the mixed match challenge.
Oh God.
It would be a social media influence showdown.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
Vince, I think I would rather you train Autumn and let her get in the ring. How about that?
I think I'd rather put an ice pick right in my cornea, yeah, than see Lars Sullivan and Eva Marie.
No, because then you'd be Aleister Black.
I just don't.
True.
He's another guy. Like I just feel like they could be doing. You say this a lot of talent with WWE at this point. They could be doing so much more with this guy. I feel like he's a lot more dynamic than they're allowing him to be in terms of like. I know he's got a little bit of an accent. He sounds like Liam Neeson in Taken, but like, that's kind of a thing. Like, it's a cool thing. Like he's different. Let him be different. That's like Andrade. It's like they want. Okay, and not just Andrade because he's another example of this. But the guy Santos Escobar in NXT was El Fantasma. So,
Yeah.
which is like the Phantasm, the purple mask with the silver. Anyway, they took him and they go, all right, well, if you're going to work for WWE, you got to stop doing this lucha shit. You got to take off the mask. You got to put on a suit. And now you're just a generic Mexican guy who comes out with two other Hispanic guys who may or may not be Mexican. And then Andrade was a masked wrestler. And I know he's a good-looking guy, and he should take the mask off. Sure. But it's another thing of, like, that's what these guys do in Mexico. Like, they took – if you want to hire Mexican wrestlers, let them be Mexican wrestlers. You're hiring these guys and you're watering them down. Andrade has, like, almost no gimmick now. He went from, like, masked wrestler to, like, guy who has, like, a pimp hat and, like, looks kind of like a pimp and was that whatever. And he went out to clubs and stuff. And then it was like, well, Zelina was also at the clubs and she saw his potential and she helped him not party as much and focus more on wrestling, got him more successful. And then it's just like, now he is Mexican on the roster with 6 other Mexicans. So, I don't know. Like, it's just him, Alistair, I don't know. There's a Keith Lee. They could, I mean, not that they could be doing more with him. They could be doing better with him. So hopefully the move to SmackDown is more beneficial. I just, unfortunately, if he's at the top of the card, Keith Lee runs into the big dog, and we know how that ends.
Well, that's why I hope they keep him away from the world title picture for a while. Let him start with a mid-card title.
I agree. Agree. But
and because Roman's keeping that title for a while. I mean, this is going to be unless
probably.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless something tragic happens,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him fight his cousin in a cage and see the same fucking match over. It'll be fantastic.
Well, but it'll be in a cage. I mean, that in itself will be making.
Yeah, I mean everything. Why don't you buy a car and drive it? Just put it in a cage. It's the same thing.
That should be the tagline for the show. Hell in a Cell. It's in a cage.
But it's in a cage. What are you having for dinner today? Oh, I'll be in a cage.
Chicken in a cage.
Nicolas Cage?
Roast beef in a cage.
Did you just say Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, I did.
I could eat a peach for hours.
I'd pay for a Nicolas Cage freak out on pay-per-view.
What if Nicolas Cage is in the cage?
Well, Nicolas Cage was actually the first actor signed on to portray Randy the Ram in The Wrestler.
Is that right?
And he went to a Ring of Honor show, and there's a very awkward picture with him and like Marufuji or Ibushi or Tanahashi, somebody. It's a real awkward photo, and they both don't. It doesn't seem like they recognize who each other is. So it's just an awkward photo of two really famous guys in two different mediums. But like he was going to Ring of Honor shows, he was going to wrestling shows to see if he could do it. And then like at one point he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this shit. And they passed it off to a guy who really knocked it out of the park.
That's impressive when Nicolas Cage turns down a movie deal.
He very rarely turns down a movie. He probably also wanted to give what's his name work because he really wasn't getting work at the time.
Did you guys see Mickey work on The Masked Singer, by the way?
No, he was on The Masked Singer. I mean, the guy looks like he's got marbles in his mouth and talks like he's got marbles in
Dude,
his mouth. Too.
no. Okay, so he was the gremlin. and he sang "Stand by Me," and then he's like, "It's too free." He goes, "It's too freaking hot in here. I'm done." So they didn't guess. Nobody got to do anything. He just unmasked himself in the middle of the show.
That's fucking hilarious.
It was
That's very
fantastic.
Now I gotta go watch that.
Yeah, you have to. I'll put it in the group chat for you, the YouTube video of it, because it is freaking hilarious.
Way to break fucking character on national television.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, a wrestler breaking the fourth wall. Shocking.
But I just can't imagine. I mean, first of all, that whole concept is silly.
Hi, Colt Cabana.
The show is so stupid.
But the
Oh my God, I
idea
love that show.
The idea of the guy getting sick of it, like in the middle of a performance, he's like, "Nah, I'm good." Like just taking like a disgruntled mascot at like a basketball game. Oh my God,
that's exactly what he did. It was freaking priceless. He's like, he's telling Nick Cannon, he's like, "I'm hot. I gotta take this off." He goes, "He's saying he wants to take it off." And like, "No, but we haven't done the voting. We haven't kicked anybody off yet." And he goes, "Fuck it," and just takes it off.
good for him.
It was fantastic.
Feel like a mall Santa halfway through the kid's wish, just pull off the beard and hat.
Yeah, Raw was. I mean, Raw's Raw. It's the typical Raw that we always Raw. It's literally the same. Like if you watched 6 months ago or you watch now, it's like same shit, same feuds, same like it's just status quo.
Now all the same feuds will be on SmackDown.
But yeah, now it's they changed color, and that's the important thing. Here, can I just show you how we're gonna? This is a completely new episode of the podcast now. Ready?
Whoa!
Yeah, I changed from red to blue on my light, and now this is the show.
Here's a question.
Wow, you look so different. I would have recognized you.
Here's a question. Has anyone else heard that Mercedes Martinez might already be out of Retribution?
Yes, already heard that. Yeah, that she's
What is the reason? Do we know?
I don't know. They're sending her back to NXT, probably because the NXT women's division needs help. And I don't mean that.
Maybe she realized it was a bullshit gimmick.
You know, right?
I don't think she has that option.
Yeah, but I think what happens, and again, I know Eric loves the women's division in NXT, but I feel like, again, like Rhea Ripley should be a bigger deal, and they're not really. They haven't done her any favors at all since WrestleMania. You know, they had a couple injuries. They've got Candice LeRae snoozing it up in the main events, and I think Mercedes Martinez would just spice it up a little bit. Like she's a veteran in there. She doesn't have to win the title, but she's like somebody that can challenge and put on a really good match with fucking anybody. So that's what I'm hoping they do is they bring her in as like the gatekeeper or the cleaner of the division that just kind of comes in and gets the best out of somebody for 10 or 15 minutes before putting them over.
Well, I hope that's true.
But I don't know. All I've heard is that, but I've heard it a few times. One was Meltzer, one was like I think it was Sean Ross Sapp. They both confirmed that Mercedes Martinez is going back to NXT and is not part of Retribution on Raw, which is another thing. Hold on. Once again, Raw, not only did they sign Retribution to contracts last month, they reaffirmed their commitment to terrorists that were trying to burn the building down by selecting them again in the draft, saying, no, stay here and keep wrecking our stuff. None of this makes any fucking sense.
Well, Retribution hasn't made any sense from the beginning.
If they're really NXT, like if the gimmick is they're NXT superstars, they're stupid stars? No, they're NXT superstars.
They might as well be stupid stars.
They threw that brick. But if they're already NXT superstars, that means they already have contracts with WWE. So they didn't need to sign them to new unless they were signing them from their NXT contracts to their Raw contracts, but then that would reveal their real names. I don't know. My head is spinning. I'm confused. The whole thing. I'm trying.
You're not supposed to think about it too hard.
I'm really, I'm trying to give a benefit of the doubt. My buddy I love Dijak. I want him to do well. My friend is in this gimmick, and I want to try and find the positive, but I'm having a very hard time.
Yeah, it's a shame because
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The positive is you don't think about it.
Right, he's making money.
Shut off your brain.
Right, exactly. Him, Dump Truck, and Blue Balls can go out there and do whatever they need to. I don't know their names. I'm sorry, Retribution. I really don't.
T-Bar or something.
T-Bar. His name, Dijak's name is T-Bar.
I swear I thought it was like what like Tokan Razor from like the Ninja Turtles.
You know what's funny about that too? I was upset when they changed his name from Dijak to Dijakovic.
Yeah.
And now to this, I would take Dijakovic any day of the week. You know?
But it was another name that they wanted to they can't trademark Dijak because that's his fucking name. So Dijakovic was the next best thing for them to use.
Yeah, it just sucks.
I know. But the whole thing sucks. Now he's T-Bar.
Yeah.
Listen, I hope they have they wrestled like a match yet? Have they like unleashed the full fury of fucking?
No, they have. Well, they didn't they have a. I think
Yeah, I thought they had a match on Raw.
they did have a match, but it ended in chaos quickly.
Oh, speaking of the Hurt Business, now did I hear? I had other things to do last night. Ricochet won a match that disbanded the Hurt Business. Is that correct?
No,
it was to end feud with the Hurt Business.
All right. I thought it was the gimmick. If the Hurt Business lost, they would have to break up.
No, if the Hurt Business won, Ricochet was going to join. If Ricochet won, they have to leave Ricochet alone from now on. They can't keep going with this back and forth BS.
And that was great too because they did like the whole Eddie Guerrero deal.
That was a very good match. Yeah, that was a highlight of the night.
It was a good match because those two work well with each other. And then the finish was great because, MVP, the ref goes down, MVP slides the chair and Ricochet gets it before Cedric could. And then he gets surrounded by all of them. The ref's still out. The ref's starting to get up. So Ricochet slams the chair, throws it to him, goes down, DQ. It was good. It was a nice little homage to because we always consider that the Eddie Guerrero.
Right, yeah.
But
the funny thing about that was that people were taking screenshots of Ricochet and he's got his hand like this. And he looked, I don't know, he looked like Medea or something it was such a weird, he went.
Well, I think he was doing that to be funny.
He was doing it to be funny, but it was just the people are now screenshotting and using it as like a reaction meme now. You got enough.
Well, better than the other shots that you sent me of Ricochet, Vince.
That one was bad. He was stirring the soup in his own butthole. It was just.
Ew.
I didn't want to remember that.
Hey, just remember, Vince is the one that found him, not me.
And you and Amanda both wanted the video, so you're welcome. Facebook user free agents that can still choose they want to go. Andrade, Mojo, Rawley, Viking Razor, Billy Kay. So again, once again, the fucking Iconics are dead, like Heavy Machinery and the New Day and every other team aside from apparently Rude and Ziggler are still together. Thank God for that.
Well, Billy Kay was a part of that women's battle royal, and she got eliminated fairly quickly.
Let's talk about that. How that was the fucking main event of Raw. That was the last match.
How Lana wins.
And Lana wins. Here's the thing. She's not going.
Wait, so you guys don't think that Lana's gonna beat Asuka? You really don't think that? Are you sure?
If she does, it would only be as a. It would be like a middle finger to the people who were complaining online that Lana was getting buried because Rusev joined AEW.
If Lana wins, re-riot. No.
Lana can out-wrestle Asuka any day of the week.
Yeah. I believe you. We just have to have faith.
You have to have faith.
This is a
maybe Asuka with brain good brain damage.
Asuka named the team of Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. She said, muscle, friends, sexy. Those are only 3 English words she said yesterday.
Yeah, so what about, and it's Dana Brooke just needs to, not talk at all. Just, if she would just wrestle and not in the middle of the match talk shit and yell, she just needs to shut up. and that tag team could actually be something. But
Maybe they
Wait,
can
you
name.
mean-
They can
wait.
name. Put
You mean
put
Mandy
mascot-
Rose and Dana Brooke? You like them as a tag team?
I didn't say that. Did anyone hear me say I like it?
That's why I was
Listen, hold on.
clarifying. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no.
Hold on.
Let's not get that twisted.
Listen, I don't think they did that bad of a job last night. It was a decent match.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad, but
They're starting to gel. They've only done it for a couple of weeks. You got to give them a break.
true. Dana Brooke irks the shit out of me.
That's
Thank
fair,
you.
but at least they make more sense than Ziggler and Robert Roode.
Well, that's true. Listen, I'm hoping to God that Dolph Ziggler right now is a placeholder
Yeah.
until
Beer money.
Beer money.
when James Storm comes back to the WWE. That's the hope. I don't know. I've been hearing things, but
I'd love me
none
some
of it's like, signed, sealed,
That
delivered.
shit ain't happening. It's not
I
happening.
hope. Did you know the first time? Remember when James Storm showed up in NXT a couple years ago?
Crowd went fucking ape shit.
And I was a big fan. I'm a
And
big
and then
fan.
and then what happened to him 2 weeks later after that? Gone.
Yeah, but do you know why? Did you hear what happened?
Does it matter?
No, but it's funny.
Let's hear it.
So he was a free agent at the time. He just worked a one-time thing for NXT. And they were talking to him and they were offering him a deal to start in NXT. And it was on the table. But TNA called him up and said, listen, we're going to re-sign Bobby Roode and you guys are going to reform Beer Money and go on a big tag team championship run. James Storm says, all right. And then like the next fucking day, Bobby Roode re-signs with NXT, like renews his WWE contract. And James Storm's like, oh, son of a bitch. So that was why they just, so basically TNA sold him a bill of goods to convince him to re-sign with them. And he wasn't happy. He left after, he did his dates and whatever with TNA and then left. But they were this close. It was actually going to happen in one or the other. I don't think Bobby Roode was ever going back to TNA. He probably just threatened that to get a better offer from WWE. But like, imagine that would have been 3 years ago at this point, I think. And they could have already given it a shot and see if it worked. Shit, they could have been wrestling. I mean, Beer Money could have been wrestling the Revival. Oh, DIY. That just makes me sad. Oh,
Yeah, that's just sad.
But hey, maybe it is in the future. But the thing is, nobody's a young guy. They're all, I mean, not the prime of athletes has changed now. You can still be a prime athlete in your 40s. That's been proven. But they're not young guys. Like there's a shelf life on this.
You're not the Young Bucks.
And even the Young Bucks ain't young, but you seen one of them? That guy's going bald.
Going bald. Yep.
Bad. It's
The
like
bald-
the bald Bucks. They should really lose a hair match and just fucking shave that shit off, bro. At least the one of them.
Yeah, I was getting close to my pun limit.
Yeah, no, but seriously, I don't know. Bobby Roode's not that young. Ziggler's not that young, and Ziggler always threatens to walk off. And James Storm's not that young. I think they're all either in their late 30s, early 40s. So like, if we're gonna do this, you got to get on the fucking horse and do it. Like that's the one thing that I hate. Like this whole Sasha Bailey thing. At this point, I'm over it. I'm not over it in the sense that it's not gonna be a good match. I'm over it in the sense that they should have done this shit 3 years ago. Do you know how many WrestleManias I went to, and there were how many battle royals I saw where they looked like they were gonna turn on each other and they didn't? It was bullshit, and they dragged it out for way too long, and now I don't give a fuck. Like, just wrestle the goddamn matches at this point. That's all I want.
I agree.
The writing just needs to get better. You
yes,
say it all the time. That's
big.
what it comes down to.
Yeah. Oh, did anybody watch Bloodsport, the wrestling event Bloodsport last night? Lana is
Yes, yeah, I
terrible.
did.
Thank you, Trey. Trey Dunia is the tagmeadate.com fan of the week for saying Lana is terrible. You win. The only
We
way
all agree with you.
the only way that somebody will top you, Trey, is if they comment that Eva Marie is terrible. That's the only way that somebody else will be fan of the week. So thank you for chiming in with the
Yay! We have a smart wrestling fan, a listener. Woohoo! Party lights.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Where are they? Is it this one? Yeah, it is.
There we go.
All right. So, yeah, Bloodsport was on last night, which was significant because this was literally live on Monday night. And Moxley wrestled in the main event, and he's wrestling in the main event Wednesday night. So he flew to Indiana to wrestle the main event of Bloodsport, and is now going to go back to Florida to wrestle the main event for the world title for the anniversary show tomorrow night for AEW. Bloodsport was a really good event. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling, Josh Barnett sponsored it. It's on Fight TV. It's on a bunch of platforms. It's shoot style wrestling. So there were no ropes. Like, it's a ring set up with the ring posts with no ropes, and they do like amateur style striking and amateur style wrestling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. It's actually a very cool event. You can win, mostly they win by knockout or submission, like an MMA competition. And Moxley wrestled. So if you've never really seen Moxley wrestle like an amateur wrestler,
Yeah.
this is your opportunity. Like, he did it a lot in New Japan when he was actually could go to Japan when it was legal to. He was doing very well out there with that Japanese strong style of wrestling, and he kind of brought that back last night. He didn't wear his camouflage. He wore the cutoff biker shorts. He didn't wear a shirt or anything. He was very much like an amateur, short little amateur wrestling boots, like Roddy's shitty little boots, but smaller. But it was a shoot style wrestling match, him against Dirty Daddy Chris Dickinson, and like, it was hard hitting. They beat the shit out of each other, they're dropping with suplex, and when instead of like, hitting the ropes, if you throw somebody out, the kid Chris Dickinson took a fucking bump on the concrete. The whole thing was insanity. And the overall event was great. Allison Kay really surprised me. Allison Kay should wrestle like that all the fucking time. It was phenomenal. There were some great women's matches, and there were some great men's matches, and then the main event was Moxley, which was pretty fucking cool. So if you haven't checked it out and you have an interest in that kind of wrestling, definitely check out this year's Bloodsport.
Very cool.
Yeah, man. And AEW next week. Or not next week, tomorrow. AEW tomorrow is the anniversary show. You got Cody defending. So Cody had a really good match with Mr. Brody Lee and regained.
Shouldn't have regained it.
I know, but, and I agree. I think everybody agrees. But I think that means that this week, Orange Cassidy surprise beats Cody, and that's what gets Cody to turn heel and do the Four Horsemen thing.
I'd like that.
Ooh, now you're talking.
So I feel like Cody came back and he wins this big blow off. He wins the feud with Brody, but now he's gonna go, I'm gonna do open challenges, this, that, and the other thing. I think Orange Cassidy could roll them up or hit the mouse trap and cinch him in for a pin and get like a flash pin on him, and then that just he snaps like, I'm supposed to be the face of this company, blah blah blah, and like. Because he didn't dye his hair for nothing. I know it was for a TV show, but he kept it for a reason. This isn't son of a plumber, I'm Dusty Rhodes Kid, blonde hair Cody anymore. This is black hair, going back to like undashing and like stuff like that. I feel like he's going, not necessarily undashing because he's not wearing a mask or anything, but I think he's going to go back to more of like a like a super villainy kind of bad guy. It already seems like it with the way he's dressing, like he's a bad guy on like Batman or Superman or Arrow or something. So I feel like that's going to be the turn. But I agree. Everybody agrees Cody shouldn't have won the title. And I'm a big Cody fan.
I am too.
But keep it on Brody, but if it facilitates a heel turn for Cody to get this Four Horsemen thing going,
then it's worth it.
It's worth it. And
I'm with you.
And then Orange Cassidy, listen, Orange Cassidy's fun. I know Eric hated it. And he wins matches by like rolling people up, but he's like winning with a Superman punch now. Listen, he's pretty good. But I feel like, unlike Cody, Orange Cassidy is a vulnerable champion, where somebody like Brody could come back and beat him, or somebody like Wardlow could beat him, or MJF. You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody in the mid. Cody, when he holds that title, is like Superman holding the fucking title because he's the guy. It's his brand, So like that he's gonna hold when he holds it. He should be holding it for a long time. So maybe this changes the expectation. But anyway, that'll do it for this week because we only got a couple minutes left here of our hour. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in on all the platforms or your platform of choice, rather. You don't have to watch them all at one time. That would get kind of confusing. But we're on Facebook and YouTube live streaming, Twitch live streaming. If you like audio podcasts, we're on Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. Oh, we're also on Periscope, which is part of Twitter, I guess. So, we're also on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, et cetera, et cetera. Just find the page. It's at Tag Me a Date, or look for the War Report. You can search for the War Report. You can search for Tag Me a Date. We're easy. Google us. You'll find us. That sounds dirty. But the other thing is, if you would like a free way to support the channel, it's completely free if you're already an Amazon Prime member. Once a month, you can subscribe to our Twitch channel, and that gives us some Amazon credits. And you can do it. You have to. It's manual. It's not automatic, because the expectation is that maybe you do it for one channel 1 month and you switch every month. But if you want to consistently support us, you can just do it once a month. Go to Twitch. If you're already an Amazon Prime customer, you just log in with your Amazon Prime information. If it creates an account, but it's already part of your Amazon account. You subscribe, and we get a little bit of Amazon credits, and it costs you nothing. You've already paid for your Amazon Prime. This is a free, like with the Audible audiobooks that they give you for free every month. I don't know if you know about that. Go check that out. If you're Amazon Prime, you get free Audible audiobooks. I think you get one a month, or the ebook one a month. There's all kinds of perks. So this is another perk that's already built into the price of your Prime. You don't have to pay for it. Just hit the subscribe button on Twitch. That's it. It's free, and you help us. So it's a win-win. But be sure to tell your friends. Share our links. Share our social medias. Share our videos. Because we enjoy doing this, and we enjoy presenting it to you, and want to present it to more people. So if you have friends that are fans of professional wrestling that like to sit around and shoot the shit, that's what we do. We sit around and shoot the shit. So thank you for watching once again. You go to YouTube, Tag Me a Date, hit subscribe, hit the bell, subscribe everywhere else. It's at Tag Me a Date, and we'll be back live next Tuesday, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time for another edition of the War Report, brought to you by tagmeadate.com. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice one.
Shit.